I just saw Wonder Woman 1984, and I want to say I liked it, and I guess I did, but that's kind of the long and short of it. I'd like to say I loved it, but that just ain't gonna happen. Yeah, it's like, it's not a bad film. I just don't think I cared about the story in almost any way. Like, you know, what I do like about it is Gal Gadot is just stunningly beautiful. So, you know, that doesn't hurt to spend some time watching her in a great costume, run around doing Wonder Woman-y kind of stuff. But like the whole storyline about Max Lord granting people's wishes, just left me kind of disinterested, bored. So that's unfortunate. The other thing I thought, though, that was quite good was the transformation of Kristen Wiig from the kind of klutzy person that everybody ignores or doesn't realize is there, to the sexy person that everybody pays attention to. That was a pretty good transformation. She did a good job. When Kristen Wiig was announced in the role, I was, you know, hopeful, a little bit of a skeptic. I figured they would cast her because she's good, but you know, I had my doubts. But no, she was great. Well, the transformation was great. But likewise, her story didn't really go anywhere I was that interested in. So I didn't really care for it. So unfortunately, this isn't one that becomes a buy for me. I'm glad I saw it. I enjoyed myself well enough. It was a nice night at the movies, but if I ever buy it, it's just going to be because I'm a completionist and I'm buying things to fill an empty hole in my life. So hopefully I'll just remember that I don't actually need it, and I can save myself the 16, 20 bucks or whatever it is that I'm tempted to spend on it. But Gal Gadot is pretty. There's a scene where she's over in Egypt, and she's walking around in like this grey, not tracksuit, but like jumpsuit, like overalls kind of thing, or coveralls, not overalls. And that just made me want to have Gal Gadot have a like a Mossad secret agent kind of movie. That'd be awesome. So she's come a bit of a distance from Fast and Furious 4. Be nice to see her kind of go back into a kind of just straight up Mossad action kind of role. But whatever. She is stunning. Yeah, that's about my thoughts for Wonder Woman 1984. Alright, I'm on my way home from work. Have a crappy time at work at the moment, but that's neither here nor there. I just had a couple of other things I did want to say about Wonder Woman, but forgot to the other night. First thought was that the producers, director, while not over exploiting Gal Gadot's beauty, certainly took advantage of it, as we've seen in the trailer, and took advantage of her legs, especially in that shot of the dress. But like I said, they don't over exploit that, but they'd be fools not to at least exploit it a little bit. The other thing that I wanted to comment on was there's just some parts where it's rubbery CGI and you can just tell that's not a person. Or there's a scene where Diana's saving some kids from being run over in the road and she rolls along and you can just tell like they're a couple of dolls or mannequins. And it's just, it's just those kind of little things which don't ruin a film, but you notice, and so I'm commenting on them. That's probably all I had to say. No, I did just one other thing is like the story, the whole magic wishing stone kind of thing is the kind of thing I like in a comic book movie, but just because it's such a comic book kind of thing. I mean, actually, well, it probably predates comic books. Wishing stones and all that kind of thing is probably, goes back to fairy tales and what have you. Yeah, but for me, for this kind of DC Wonder Woman movie, I just felt silly or something. It just didn't work for me. So it's not that it's a bad film or poorly made necessarily. It's just that, the story, like I said earlier, didn't really work for me. Alright, that'll do. So I watched Underwater again. I decided to end the year by watching my favourite film of 2020. And it's Underwater. Came out in January, so it was one of the first films I saw, and then as soon as it was available on DVD, I bought it. I've watched it at least, I think this is my third time watching it this year. Love everything about it. Like what really grabbed me the first time was just all the production value of it, the costumes, the sets, everything about the film I thought was really well made and just right up my alley. The water suits have a Warhammer 40k kind of Space Marine vibe to them, just fantastic. Really, really great suits. But it's also just, I think, really great story, and I think like it's good script and the actors just bring the characters to life. Like I really care what's happening to the crew, the survivors of this kind of underwater accident, and so much tension and just excellent kind of sci-fi horror kind of film. Like Underwater Alien, I guess, would be a easy comparison to make. So I love it. Favorite film of 2020 and final film of 2020, but I don't know if it's the final film of the week, so see what happens next. But yeah, good way to end 2020. I love this movie, highly recommended. So I've just come out of seeing Promising Young Woman, which I was pretty excited for. I think Carey Mulligan is just a fantastic actress, and just cute, and I enjoy seeing her in films. So when I saw the trailer for Promising Young Woman, I was quite excited. It looked quite good, kind of a revenge thriller based around a college rape and the effects that has on the victim, and how so often men, just this culture of men getting away with crap. So yeah, I was down for it, and it doesn't disappoint. It's a great film. The ending, the last quarter, does give me pause, just in kind of terms of enjoyment of the film. It doesn't quite end the way I'd want it to, which isn't bad. There's still a satisfying end, but I'm not sure there's a happy ending. So I think that's kind of where the issue is for me, just with that kind of my enjoyment of the movie. I mean, it's challenging, like, as a guy who just has all those male thoughts. It's confronting, and I don't know how anybody talks to any woman, like, I don't know how any guy talks to any woman out on the street, someone they don't know, without feeling like a total creep. Which is probably part of the reason why I'm not married. Like, all men are scum. Some of us just are better at not giving into it, I think. It's a broken world, a fallen world, and I think that potential is in all of us. So in that sense, it's a bit of a confronting film, and the kind of that question of can we find forgiveness for past, I don't want to say mistakes, because mistakes, I think, is a weak word for when we do things wrong. Is there forgiveness for past wrongdoings? I mean, I think so, and I think one of the characters in the film does find forgiveness, but that person finds repentance. So many of the people in this film are not repentant and just making excuses for their behaviours, and so all the revenge feels totally justified and is quite satisfying. So it's a good film. I recommend it. I've tried to avoid any kind of spoilery things here in the hope that people do seek this out. Promising Young Woman, highly recommended. So watched The Invisible Man tonight, Leigh Whannell's film from last year. It's been, I guess, roughly just under a year since I last watched it. But it's a good film. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it when I first saw it. There were a couple of issues I had with it the first time I saw it, and again tonight watching it, but nothing that really disrupts the flow or my enjoyment of the film too much. But I wasn't 100% sure how I felt about it on that first viewing. I was pretty sure I liked it and wanted it, so I bought it, and Pete suggested we watch it tonight, so that's what we watched, and I really like it and glad I got it. I think Elizabeth Moss is pretty fantastic in it. I really enjoy the story of it. I think it's a pretty good updating and adaptation for for 2020, or 2021 now. Yeah, so that's good. I don't want to go into too much depth about plot or anything, so I guess I'll just leave it at that. I like it, and it's a good film, I think.